Well, I was actually in the shower on a Friday afternoon. It was around 2:46 here, and I knew it was much stronger than anything we felt before. I mean, as Natalie can tell you, we often feel earthquakes here in Japan. I ran outside in a towel, and it's cold outside, and luckily my wife, who's Japanese, was able to run down from the second floor and get outside, and we stood in front of our house watching our old Japanese traditional house sort of swaying back and forth, and it went on for such a long time. It seemed to go on for more than a minute, and we really thought it was the big one that was finally hitting Tokyo. Since 1923, we've been expecting another big one to hit. It's quite amazing that this happened more than 300 kilometers to the northeast of Sendai.
And how much damage has there been where you are then?
Around me in my residential area here, I don't see a lot of damage. I've been looking around. The lights are on at a high school here, probably because they're keeping it open as an evacuation center if people need it. The damage seems to be much more severe in the northeast of the country. There are more reports coming in now from Sendai at the airport there of cars and things like that being strewn across the runway of the airport. I've just seen on Japanese TV as well an image from what seems to be a Japanese Air Force plane, an aerial image of just a huge swath of destruction where the water came in very far inland. There seems to be all these buildings that are underwater, and the government spokesman just said that their initial assessment is a very heavy damage in the north of the country.
And what about the number of casualties? We're hearing at least 32 people dead so far, but presumably this is a major event and that death toll is likely to increase.
Absolutely. In 1995, after the Kobe earthquake, a lot of people here will remember how the first day of that earthquake, the death toll was something around 30 or so too. And it ended up, in fact, what had happened, there was more than 5,500 people had died in that. It had knocked down all the old buildings in the city and destroyed the port. And there was fires, of course, that night that were very damaging too. So we're not exactly sure about the situation in Sendai. I've just heard from a friend of mine that they were able to contact their friends in the city of Sendai who said they were okay, but I'm not able to contact my friends up there.
And how bad is this earthquake in comparison to others in Japan?
This seems to be the strongest one in anybody's memory here. Everybody is saying that. It's more on the scale of the Asian tsunami, the Boxing Day of 2004, that type of power and the ability to generate tsunami waves. The Red Cross are just saying now that they're very afraid about the low-lying islands in the Pacific, such as the Marshall Islands, that have no high ground. These tsunami waves can move very quickly across the ocean.
And what about the kind of reaction and the search and rescue mission that is now facing authorities there? We hear that the army has already been deployed.
That's right. The governor of Miyagi Prefecture, which is where Sendai is located, that's the epicenter of it, and very quickly asked for the Japanese Air Force to move in. I mean, we've even been hearing helicopters going over our house. We live fairly close to a Japanese military installation here. And this is something that has changed since 1995. I think that there's much more of a rapid response automatically put in force now. Right after the Kobe earthquake in 1995, it took a long time for the military to get into Kobe. When they did get into Kobe, and I was there and I saw this, they were very confused. They were lost. They didn't know where to go. There were huge traffic jams, and it's very difficult for them to put out fires. So Japan, as Natalie has pointed out, is much more prepared now. But the question is, I mean, even if you are prepared for this type even if you're prepared for an earthquake, it's difficult to be prepared for an earthquake that's as big and powerful as this one is.